You know, whenever you look up at the night sky, there it is, our moon. It's this steady, glowing orb that has guided humanity and frankly stabilized our entire planet for millennia. But what if it suddenly wasn't so steady? What if, for some completely unknown reason, it just started getting closer to us?
So that brings us right to the core question for this explainer. What would actually happen if the moon crashed into Earth? We're going to walk through the exact chronological sequence of this ultimate doomsday scenario. And as we do, I really want you to imagine yourself living through every terrifying, awe-inspiring second of it.
Chapter 1. Early Warning Signs. Okay, let's dive into this. This catastrophe actually wouldn't begin with some giant Hollywood explosion. No, it would start with these super eerie, subtle anomalies. Basically, nature would know something was terribly wrong way before we did. First, shifting tides would start washing some really unusual things ashore. Just picture taking a stroll on a nice sunny beach, only to find deep-sea giant squids and terrifying anglerfish washed up on the sand. I mean, these are creatures that belong in the pitch-black depths. Then you look up, and the birds? They've completely lost their navigation. Instead of flying south for the winter, massive flocks are just flying aimlessly around cities in total confusion because their lunar navigational cues are totally ruined. Out on the oceans, ship captains would just be staring at their compasses spinning wildly out of control as Earth's magnetic poles actually begin to shift. Oh, and if you live near the woods, yeah, you're not getting any sleep. Wolves would be driven absolutely mad by this glaringly bright, massive moon, just howling constantly into the night.
Hey, it's not just the animals freaking out. As the moon's gravity begins to warp our own, our global climate ecosystems are completely knocked off balance. And this is long before any physical impact even happens. The driest deserts on Earth are suddenly getting inundated with heavy rainfall. Meanwhile, the coldest, most frigid lands are suffering from scorching heat. The very rhythm of our planet is literally unraveling right in front of us.
Chapter 2. The Gravity of Disaster. The panic begins.
All right, so the eerie warnings are over, and the situation is now escalating way faster than anyone could have ever prepared for. I want you to picture this. You're walking down the street, maybe listening to some music, and suddenly, someone just violently shoves past you. You take off your headphones, and the air's just filled with screams and wailing sirens. People are abandoning their cars, they're running in sheer panic. And then, you hear a sound that makes absolutely no sense. Roaring water. You're in the city center, you're miles away from the shore. But a massive wave is flooding the streets, heading straight for you. You sprint into a nearby building, rushing all the way up to the 10th floor. And from there, you look out the window to see this horrifying reality. The incredible stream is blowing cars, one-story buildings, trees, just completely washing them away. You can actually see sharks and other ocean fish swimming right through your downtown streets.
30 stories. Just let that sink in for a second. 30 stories. That represents the height of the massive tidal tsunamis that are currently washing entire coastal towns completely off the map all over the globe. 30 stories of crushing water. The moon's proximity is utterly destroying the balance it once provided us.
So, what is the physics behind this absolute nightmare? Well, it all comes down to what we call the sloshing effect. To put that into perspective, just imagine holding a round glass of water. Now, tilt that glass slightly to the side. You'd watch the liquid rush violently from one edge to the other, right? That is exactly what is happening to Earth's oceans. The moon's immense gravity is pulling so hard on our planet, it's causing Earth to actually tilt slightly off its axis.
And because the moon keeps circling our planet, getting closer and closer with every single rotation, these disasters are continuous. The oceans flood your city streets, then they violently drain away entirely, rushing all the way back to the shore, only to return with devastating force just a few hours later. It's like a fatal, inescapable tide being pulled back and forth by this rapidly approaching moon.
Chapter 3. Approaching the Impact.
Guys, the oceans, that was just the warm-up. It's 3 p.m., but suddenly, the sky goes completely pitch black. The moon's gravity is actually speeding up Earth's rotation, making the days just fly by. And as it looms closer, it completely obscures the sun. When you look up now, the sky isn't just dark, it is literally filled entirely by the brightly illuminated, gigantic craters of the moon's surface. It is so terrifyingly close you can see every single crater, even when the sun tries to shine from behind it.
And this brilliantly illustrates the unimaginable forces at play beneath your feet right now. Imagine two super strong magnetic balls that are approaching each other. One ball is the moon, and the second one is Earth's core.
Just think about all of Earth's crust, hundreds of thousands of miles of solid rock, trapped right in the middle of those two massive magnetic forces.
Because of that literally impossible tension, we start seeing a total global crust collapse. The tectonic plates are shifting violently all over the planet. Deep earthquakes are ripping the ground apart, which means, yeah, even those super deep underground bunkers, utterly useless right now. The highest mountains on Earth simply crumble into piles of loose stones. Down in the oceans, the seabed cracks wide open, releasing unimaginable amounts of underground magma directly into the water. And above ground, every single volcano wakes up at once, erupting and filling the sky with thick, choking clouds of volcanic ash.
This incredible gravitational force is acting like a giant stirrer in a teacup, driving chaotic clouds all across the globe. You might be standing in a violent thunderstorm where the rain is quite literally made of mud and volcanic ash, forcing everyone to wear gas masks just to be able to breathe. And then, exactly 5 minutes later, a heavy snowstorm rolls in. The atmospheric pressure is fluctuating so violently that survivors are experiencing crippling migraines and severe sore joints. There is just no escaping the physical toll of the sky falling down on you.
Okay, the tension reaches an absolute breaking point. The moon is now at the exact same distance as the International Space Station. It completely blankets the sky. As those massive tsunamis crash down, millions of tons of glowing magma erupt from the crust and collide directly with the ocean. Billions of gallons of water evaporate instantly. All that moisture rises into the air, mixes with the thick ash, and floods the land in the form of giant, suffocating cumulus clouds. Humanity looks up, preparing for the absolute end of the world.
Chapter 4. The Roche Limit Twist. So, you've accepted the complete destruction of the planet, right? But right as the moon is about to make contact, giant glowing cracks appear all over the lunar surface. The moon slowly begins to divide into two parts, and then it crumbles into hundreds of large pieces. It is literally falling apart right in front of our eyes. So what's going on? Why is the moon falling apart instead of smashing into us?
The answer to this is a fascinating, invisible boundary called the Roche limit. You see, when the moon crosses this specific line in space, Earth's massive gravitational pull actually becomes stronger than the internal forces holding the moon together. This means our planet's gravity just acted as a giant cosmic shield. It simply tears the moon apart before it can even touch us. But hold on a second. Before we start cheering, Earth is technically saved from a direct world-ending impact. However, there's a pretty tragic irony here. Humanity is now left with a massive pile of giant space rocks caught right in our gravity, forming this beautiful but extremely deadly debris ring around the planet. Earth now looks exactly like Saturn. So the planet wasn't pulverized, but as we're about to see, the threat to our survival, it is far from over.
Chapter 5. Surviving the Aftermath.
So the main event is over, but honestly, the world we knew is totally gone. Here is how our so-called salvation actually plays out. Instantly, huge chunks of this new moon ring act as space debris, destroying literally everything in their path in orbit. All of our satellites wiped out. That means a total communication and navigation blackout across the entire globe. Yep, we are officially back to using paper maps. Fast forward a few years, without the intact moon to stabilize our orbit, Earth's axis is permanently shifted. Entire hemispheres are plunged into unending multi-year winters and summers. And if we look hundreds of thousands of years into the future, that's how long it will take for any remaining life to adapt to this terrifying new normal, which includes continuous lunar meteor showers raining down from the rings, creating giant new craters right here on our surface.
Because of that severe axis tilt, the climate stability the moon used to provide us is just completely gone. The North Pole and the icy Arctic, they could actually be turned into scorching hot deserts, just blasted by the sun. Meanwhile, the equator, the warmest part of our old world, could become completely covered in thick, permanent ice. It's a total planetary flip, which really leaves us with one final, kind of haunting question to wrap up this explainer. We survived the collision, the Roche limit protected us from the ultimate knockout punch. But could humanity really survive this unrecognizable, violently ringed new Earth? It's an absolutely fascinating display of extreme physics, and honestly, it just leaves us pondering how unbelievably fragile our perfect little place in the solar system really is. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.